Test. Good. Test. Test, test. Good evening. Welcome to Oconee County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, August the 26th, 2025. After a moment of silence, we're going to have Daniel Haygood lead us in the pledge. Please stand.
States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item of business will be to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Have any statements or remarks from citizens? Any statements or remarks from commissioners? Our first item will be to discuss the bid award for the courthouse generator. Justin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This is a companion piece to the courthouse renovations currently underway. An ITB was put out to replace the generator, which was not adequate for full coverage of the courthouse. The proposal is to ultimately install a new generator, and the low bid is J&T Service Center, Inc., and for $345,490. And then they will also relocate the existing generator from the courthouse to the animal shelter, which will then be able to power the, they need a replacement there for that. So that's an additional $22,580. They were the low bid on both cases. We're recommending approval, including all budget amendments for the life of the project. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Do we have any questions, commissioners? You're all right for consent agenda?
Yes.
Do we have any public comment? Next time is discuss a budget amendment for the water resources design projects with precision planning.
Good evening, Commissioners. We have a lot to cover tonight, so please bear with me. I'd like to start, I just really thank Holly for putting all this stuff on the agenda for me. I know it was a lot of work. Thank you for that. So I'm going to start out with design services on some current projects. We recently been working with finance to incorporate design services in our capital project cost. It's a lot cleaner, a lot more organized, as opposed to having it in one big pot of money as far as just one line item in your budget. This is more transparent. You can see exactly what we're doing with all these projects, especially if they go over 100,000, which we're required to bring them here anyway. The three things you see that should be in your packet, these are going to be projects that have been ongoing. They've crossed into FY26. We're getting towards the end of the design services for them. Those are the estimated balances for this. There's three items. There's Brookshire Pump Station, which is mainly going to consist of really construction and project management. The Calls Creek Phase 3, that's going to be design coordination, stuff like that, and bid documents and such. But in total, the cost to roll these POs over to the next FY or to FY26 is going to be $214,100. So my recommendation here tonight is to consider approval for that. And this includes all necessary budget amendments up to the contract amount for the life of the projects. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on this item? You all right for consent agenda? Do we have any public comment? Now we'll move on to the discussion of the US 441 sanitary sewer diversion easement budget.
Okay. So recently you approved a design contract for the US 441 sewer diversion. That did not include easement acquisition. So we would like to amend that contract to include that portion of it. Instead of having a separate design or acquisition agent, just to let the designers handle it and have one source of contact there. The amount quoted is within your packets. It's $31,500. I recommend considering approval of this. The additional cost, of course, is $31,500. The overall total cost for design services for this project will be $220,635. And again, this request includes all necessary budget amendments up to the contract amount for the life of the project. And I'm open to questions.
Any questions on this item? We are for consent. Any public comment? Now we'll move over to the discussion of the budget amendment for a portion of the LAS decommissioning project.
So this one's a big one, but very important. Three components on your memo vital to initiating the LAS decommissioning, which gives light to Dawson Park. Ultimately, these tasks are a big portion of what needs to be completed to transfer all LAS basin flow to Calls Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant here in Watkinsville. This work will be performed under the design services contract that was awarded earlier this month by Po Boys Plumbing. That's one of the on-demand contractors we have now. They've been with us for quite a while, actually. The proposal was outlined in the task order, task order 2026-01, which is attached to your packet. Also is attached as a map or concept map, really illustrating the path that this project's going to take. So to come back to your table here that's on your memo, you'll see this is going to be under 3 different projects, and I'll briefly summarize kind of what needs to be done. So to start off the decommissioning of the LAS, of course we got to transfer all that flow to Calls Creek. We're going to start at LAS to do that, meaning we have to build a lift station at LAS, which is going to be decommissioning. There's a smaller lift station that just serves one neighborhood called Brookshire, which we're going to be decommissioning that and putting that new lift station on the property, the LAS property. And it's going to now receive flow from Westland, Brookshire, North Oconee, basically that whole LAS basin. So we got to have a big enough pump station that can handle all that. So we're constructing it on the LAS site. From there, we're going to have to build a force main from that pump station to the right of way of Rocky Branch Road into an existing 10-inch pipe that we're going to repurpose as a new force main. That will get us to OVP. So from OVP, you know, you're getting the flows from Brookshire, so you got to have a big enough pump, big enough station to handle those flows, which is that whole basin. Once you get there, so that's going to include pump upgrade and all that. And that's the $131,851. I didn't mention that, but all the costs are listed out here to the side. So once you go from OVP, you got to get to Daniels Bridge. Daniels Bridge is going to be the hub. It's going to handle all these flows. So again, we have to increase the size, the pumps, the panels, everything surrounding that to be able to support the flows from the basin upstream. The total price for this task order is going to be $2,458,501. That's going to be the financial impact. A portion of this can be reimbursed up to $500,000, and that's to be reimbursed from the Westland development. That was a part of a settlement agreement several years ago. That only applies to the construction of the new Rocky Branch lift station, though. So that portion, that $201 or at $2 million, that project number 7653, that's all that can apply to. But I would recommend considering approval of the spending of $2,458,501. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I expect a lot on this one.
Any questions on this item?
I have one.
I knew it.
Yeah, it's not a hard one, Adam. Don't worry about it.
Go ahead. I'm just messing.
Start, then the length of the project, at the time of the project, how long will it take to start it?
We're going to have to probably end up doing this in multiple contractors, multiple phases. The plan, of course, is going to be to break ground on Dawson Park April 1st. So this has to be done before then. If that's good enough. If that's a good enough answer for you.
They'll be starting after we approve it at a regular meeting, contracts will be issued, they'll start as possible.
Yeah, so from the consent agenda, I'm going to release them the next day.
And this is all inclusive, this 2.4 million?
Yes, sir. If you add up all those, that's what it adds up to be.
That takes care of the entire fund.
at the beginning of it. There's gonna be another phase, the park side phase, which I'll probably be here next month talking again. Every month it seems to be, but I'll be back. You'll see that one too.
Promise, okay. All right. I got a
Yes, sir.
question. When we were building these lift stations, are we factoring in expansion?
The wet wells are usually sized for a safety factor, might be 2.5 or whatnot. And then, as you know, we always can change pumps and impellers to increase that as well. But yes, right now it's designed hopefully like everything else is supposed to be for 20 years.
So the 10-inch force main is going to be large enough to handle all the flow?
To my knowledge, yes, sir. Just based off the information we have, yes.
And is that PVC? Is that ductile?
Portions of it will probably have to be ductile due to depth, but yeah, I do believe it's gonna be PVC.
But the one you're converting, is it PVC?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other questions? You all right for consent agenda? Any public comment? Next one is to discuss the Upper Oconee Basin Water Authority's contract budget amendment for the design of the Bear Creek Water Treatment Plant.
So on July 23rd, I guess the end of last month, the Upper Oconee Basin Water Authority approved an amendment to include an additional $89,300 to Jacobs Engineering for design services of the Bear Creek wastewater treatment plant expansion. These additional service will include preparation of construction contract, bid documents, construction management, project management. Oconee's share of this is 23.8%, or yeah, 23.8%, which comes out to be a total impact on us to be $21,262.33. With the authority approval, it goes to each individual member partner government for approval, which is why it's here today. So as a recommendation, I would consider approval of an additional $21,262.33 to Jacobs Engineering for design services. This request includes all necessary budget amendments up to the contract amount for the life of the project.
Any questions on this item? All right for consent? Do we have any public comment? Now we are going to talk about the Upper Oconee Water Basin Authority's supervisor control and data acquisition system.
So Upper Oconee Basin Water Authority has contracted with Jacobs Engineering to assist with Bear Creek wastewater treatment plant SCADA system improvements, which stands for supervisory control data acquisition. So essentially, this is the brain of the CPU of the plant. It's the automation. It's what makes it tick. Services will include a cybersecurity implementation plan development. With cloud-based technology these days, you have to have some sort of some sort of cyber control or something to I guess, to really kind of get out the hackers and stuff like that. This also includes conversion of HMI software. This thing being 20 years old, if we're going to upgrade our SCADA system, I mean, it's pretty archaic now. As y'all know, technology changes every day. It's time to kind of be looking at that. And implementation of initial cybersecurity features and preparation of expanded wastewater treatment program. So that would just help us develop the system and get it going, and probably stay on for a bit just to make sure that our operators can use this system to their best abilities. Total cost for the services described is $261,590, with Oconee share being $62,281.96. The recommendation is to consider approval of the $62,281.96 to be paid to Jacobs Engineering. The request includes all necessary budget amendments up to the contract amount for the life of the project. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on this item?
On the SCADA, are we using landlines for this, or are we using microwave?
My thought is that's kind of what this is they're going to go out and do studies and see what's best suits us, but I'm assuming it's probably gonna be using microwaves.
Right now, there's a fiber optic line that connects all.
But that's essentially what they're trying to get us to is they're figuring there's so many, there's so many different options out there. So they're kind of looking at this study to try to figure out what's best for us and what best suits our operators.
And I guess security.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty big deal. This is, I hate to admit it, but this one's a little bit outside my wheelhouse. This is technology driven, and unfortunately, I got to rely heavily on others to kind of give me this data. But yeah, cybersecurity seems to be a pretty big deal these days. So that's going to be a big task on this.
They're actually changing the entire operating system. Data. Lots of different things. Implementation of a whole new software. There's opportunities with the new software to allow our staff, all the member government, come in and review, monitor. And that's where it gets tricky with cybersecurity. They don't allow access. Right now, there's no outside protection. If something happens in the plant, the operator's got to be monitored. Depending on how much all that costs, may just leave it a closed system, but investigate what it costs. Allow access.
What does that do for the members? So we have to do something here,
No. We'd actually just set up a computer to allow access into that system. That would, similar to our software for accounting, you can set it up so you can just view things versus mess with it. For some reason, they don't let me mess with stuff. I can view a lot of stuff.
I don't let me mess with stuff either. It's all good. But
Don't want to turn the water off to Jackson County.
that is something I am looking forward to as far as seeing the cost of what it would take for me to be able to view what's going on in the plant in live action. Currently, like Chairman was saying, if something does go down, the operator has to call me and tell me what's going on, whereas I can't really view it for myself.
Yeah, I know we had an issue this past year,
We did.
so this will improve that.
It should improve communication and as far as how fast we can react to it. Yes, sir.
What kind of started on this? Okay.
My beard's still white, but maybe it won't be as white.
Any other questions on this item? You all right for consent? Very good. Any public comment? Our next time is discuss the
Thank you.
Civic Center roof professional design services.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening. The Civic Center roof is original to the Civic Center building and is in need of replacement. So we requested a proposal from Precision Planning that would design the new roof system and would provide us with drawings and technical specifications that we need to place this roof project out for competitive bid. In order to proceed with the proposal that we have, we're requesting a revenue neutral budget amendment for the life of this project in the amount of $41,000. Proceeding with this bidding process, we would be able to come back to you with a recommended bid and more details on the construction cost of the roof. And we are recommending that this entire roofing project be funded from the General Facilities of SPLOST referendum from the 2021 SPLOST. If there's any questions?
Questions? You all right for consent?
Thank you.
Do you have any public comment? Next time is discuss and consider a GDOT traffic signal application for the development at US 78 in Clottville.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This item of business is a Georgia Department of Transportation traffic signal application for a new signal at State Route 10 US 78 and Clotfelter Road. Is proposed to be installed as part of a new mixed-use development. The contractor developer would pay for the installation of the signal. The county would be responsible for the monthly operating power cost. And Public Works recommends approving the traffic signal application and authorizing the chairman to execute required documents.
We do have this to discuss and consider because this project's getting closer to getting started, so we want to clear this up through GDOT so they can proceed. This was a rezone, I think we did a modification to several months ago. Anybody who's been down Clopfelter at 78 knows a red light would be very welcome there. Any questions? Do we have any public comment? We'll entertain a motion on this item.
Make a motion to approve the contract as submitted.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next item is discuss the 2026 resurfacing and LMIG application.
This item of business is our annual LMIG application and annual resurfacing. The funding amount for Oconee County for FY 26 is $857,866.18. That is the formulary amount that is, we get from Georgia Department of Transportation. And we've developed a program, a resurfacing program to utilize these funds and provide the necessary match. The program proposes to resurface 33.02 miles and patch 5.57 miles of roadway for an estimated total of $9,872,515.35. The FY 26 LMIG budget is $750,000. The grant amount of $857,866.18 exceeds the expenditure budget by approximately $107,866.18. To spend these grant funds, a revenue neutral budget amendment for this amount is needed. Also, a budget amendment in the amount of $1,014,649.17 is needed to reallocate FY 24 funds to FY 26. The financial impact would be $2 million splost, $857,866.18 LMIG. T-splost would be $7,014,649.17. Public Works recommends approving the FY 26 resurfacing program with a budgeted amount of $9,872,515.35, authorizing the FY 26 LMIG submittal to Georgia DOT, authorizing the chairman to sign necessary documents, and approving budget amendments up to the contract amount for the life of the project.
Any questions on this item?
Had one, not specifically with this application, but just curious that you attached to your presentation online the 2026 program. How are we doing on the 2025 program?
The resurfacing of 2025, it is complete.
Okay. So this, when we approve this, you'll start paving Monday?
As soon as the contractor can get it scheduled, yes, they can start working.
And
Number, amount, we're spending nowhere near what we got here, amount of mileage that we pay. So, much less.
in our best year, it would have taken over 3 years to pave this many miles of road. East Bloss has been very good for us. Any other questions, comments? All right, for consent agenda? Any public comment? Next item is contract modification for the Hog Mountain Road multi-use path.
This item of business is the final contract modification for the multi-use path on Hog Mountain Road. As you've noticed, the project is complete. The barrels are removed and citizens are using it. They're walking, riding their bikes. It's been a very good project. The contract modification will reconcile actual quantities placed during the construction and would add $9,168.82 to the contract and increase the contract amount from $2,431,636 to $2,440,804.82. A budget amendment to allocate funds from FY 25 would also be required. The financial impact would come out of T-splost. Public Works recommends approving the contract modification and budget amendment.
Any questions for Jody on this item? You are for consent agenda? Do you have any public comment? Very good. We do need an executive session to discuss land acquisition and litigation.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? All right, thank you. We need a motion to go back in regular session.
So moved.
All in favor? Daniel,
Recommend that the board accept the opioid settlement with Publix in the amount of $12,220 after attorney's fees and the payment of the common benefit tax. County will net $9,607.97. This is done with the same methodology as all the other cases. Publix just doesn't have much exposure. They were very limited participant in all the opioid studies. I'd recommend we approve it and authorize the chairman to sign so.
do we have any questions for Daniel? Do we have any public comment? We'll entertain a motion.
Second.
A motion second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. With that, Commissioner Sexton. Second. We are adjourned.